Oh my god. Ooh, alrighty. There we go. Alrighty. So, got back from seeing Mortal Kombat, the new Mortal Kombat movie, the new rated R Mortal Kombat movie. And, now it's time to do my review. So, yeah, what do I think of the movie? Just reflect on it a little bit. I gotta reflect on the whole movie, you know? Anyways, thank you for that movie, whatever. Anyways, hey guys, welcome back to the Grandma's channel, and welcome back to our movie series, where we review movies that we just go back from seeing, you suggest, or short films of ours. And yeah, this is a movie that I literally just got back from seeing. All thanks to my friend Jason, also known as Donut Films, who invited me to go see the movie with him. So, thank you for that, I really appreciate it. So, in honor of that, I'm just gonna give you a special shout out, you know, go check out Donut Films, go check out his channel, give him a sub, all that. So, yeah, this movie is a full-on 18-plus rated R film. Yeah, it's very bloody. Very, very bloody. It's gory. Yeah. It is based off a video game called Mortal Kombat. And the movie is Mortal Kombat. The highly anticipated Mortal Kombat movie has finally been released, and people are just anticipating the movie so hard because of its, of course, R rating, and it just being a new reboot of Mortal Kombat, because obviously not a lot of people liked the original 90s Mortal Kombat, so people are just looking forward to see a new and refreshing new start on Mortal Kombat, and yeah, people are just really looking forward to this movie, which is awesome. And it's great to see all those hardcore Mortal Kombat fans really, like, digging this movie, really anticipating it, and it's great to see that. But unfortunately for me, I've never been a massive fan of Mortal Kombat, or, like, the story of it or anything. I've definitely played a few of the games, like, you know, the like, Mortal Kombat game that came out back in the year 2011. And I played a little bit of Mortal Kombat X, but either way, that's really it. I did play a lot of the 9th Mortal Kombat and the Mortal Kombat X, a little bit of it. That's really it for me. I never really cared about the story of these characters or whatever. I thought they were cool, but I never really cared about their stories or backstories or anything like that. So either way, I'm not really a big fan of the Mortal Kombat game, so I kind of just went into this movie thinking it was just gonna be some fun, bloody, violent, gory action movie with some characters that I can just be like, okay, these characters with some fine, you know, these characters are fine. I can just get through them for the whole movie. That's kind of what I was going into with this movie, and that's what I was hoping for. So yeah, that's just coming out of me. I just want to let you guys know that, because I'm not a massive Mortal Kombat fan, so I just want to tell you guys that before I actually share what I think of this movie. But either way, what did I think of Mortal Kombat? I thought it was not too bad. I thought it was not bad. I thought it was fine. It was a fine experience. It was a fine average watch. That's kind of how I felt throughout the film, honestly. It was a fine watch. It was it had some, you know, like every movie, it's got some pretty good stuff. It's also got some not great stuff, but, you know, that's literally every single freaking movie. So, without further ado, before we get into our little issues, let's get into the positives. I loved the first 10 minutes of the film. I'm just going to say that straight off the bat. The first 10 minutes of the film I thought were great. It showed me exactly what I wanted to see out of a movie like this. The first 10 minutes of the film, it showed me like a bunch of gory, bloody, violent action scenes. You know, it was very, very cool. And not only that, it was also very dark. Like, it was actually had some dark shit going on in the opening of the film. And I fucking loved it. The first opening of the film, the first 10 minutes, I loved it. It really showed us that it gave us a good hint of how the film's going to go with the R rating, and it was great. I loved the first 10 minutes of the film. I thought it was great. And yeah, I just loved the first 10 minutes of the film. It really showed us how this film's going to go as it continues. It was a great start for a movie like this, and I loved it. A little bit about the characters. Straight off the bat, I'm just going to say my favorite character in the entire movie is a character named Kano. He is just this crazy Australian dude who constantly swears over and over and over. You know, every time, every scene, every dialogue, everything he says, it's just constantly fuck, fucking fuck. and for some reason it never got old. Just constantly saying fuck with his Australian accent. It never got old. It was always hilarious. I love this character. He was easily the most entertaining part of the film. Everything he said was fucking hilarious. I loved, like, his dialogue was great. He was legitimately funny. Like, he was funny. Just constantly being kind of a dick to his, like, the people he's going on this adventure with all the other characters, constantly being a dick and stuff, and just, it was always hilarious. He was easily the most entertaining part of the film. And like I've said, I'm not a massive Mortal Kombat fan, so I'm just gonna say straight off the bat, he was my favorite character, most entertaining, enjoyable part of the film, and I loved him. He was a great character. The action scenes, I thought they were fine. They weren't really my type of action scenes, and obviously they weren't the best action scenes, but I thought they were fine. I thought they were okay. They were very, very quick, a lot of cuts, which, that could be kind of annoying, and that's been done tons of times in other movies, but I didn't mind it. I thought the action scenes were okay. I could still kind of tell what was going on with the action scenes. Even at times, you could actually really feel the adrenaline with these fights. How quick they were going. You could really feel the adrenaline going on with these fight scenes. And it was good. I actually did feel that at times. So that's really, really good. The action scenes were not bad. I think they weren't the best action scenes, but they were not bad. The music in this film, holy shit. I never usually talk about the score or music in films, but I just have to talk about it in this movie review because the score in this film was awesome. It's composed by the same guy who did movies like the first two It movies and Shazam and The Invisible Man. And I always thought movies like The Invisible Man, I thought his music was a little too over the top and loud, but in movies like Shazam, it was just like a little bit of a typical superhero music. It didn't really sound any different. But in this movie, I thought it was awesome. It just sounded so badass in scenes. He even played the OG Mortal Kombat theme. Like, it was updated a little bit, and it sounded so freaking cool. And I loved the music in this film. It was great. And yeah, overall, I loved the score in this film. I thought it was awesome. I thought it sounded great, and it was just freaking badass. I loved it. And that's probably all I'm gonna have to get into with my positives, because this is a full-on spoiler-free review of Mortal Kombat, and I don't want to get into spoilers, so that's all I can really get into regards to my positives. So yeah, that's it. So without further ado, let's move on to the issues. I did struggle a bit to care about the other characters. Besides Kano, of course, who was just hilarious, and it was just like the fun part of the film. All of the other characters are kind of taken a little more seriously, and you're actually meant to care more about the other characters. And I did kind of struggle a bit to care about the other characters and get invested with them and their stories and whatever, which is really not a good thing. There was even a few characters that were kind of unlikable, unfortunately. Characters like Raiden, who, when we're first introduced to Raiden, you get this feeling out of him like, I feel like he's going to be the more nicer character in this whole film, because this character is packed with a bunch of characters that keep who look angry and just swearing a lot and all that, and you feel like you get this feeling out of Raiden, like he's going to be the more like nicer guy. And then it's later in the film where he's introduced again, and you get his like first words of dialogue. The first couple of things he says, you get this feeling where you're like, wow, this character's kind of a dick. Like, he's very unlikable, and you can't really get into him. Like, am I meant to like this character? Am I meant to care about him? Because I really can't get into him. He's saying a bunch of like really shit things. So yeah, pretty much throughout the whole film, Raiden is a bit of a dick, and he's very unlikable, and you couldn't really get into his character. So yeah, the characters were average. Again, and then you got characters like Raiden, who was just an ass. He was a complete ass. So yeah, I guess all the other characters besides Kano were just very fine. They were very average at best. The story of the film, it was a bit of felt very, very kind of typical. It felt very cliched. Like, it was kind of just a whole, like, gotta go save the world and teamwork and team up to save the world. We gotta do this together type of thing. We've gotten that type of stuff like tons of times in movies, and it's kind of present here again in Mortal Kombat, which it was a real bummer, and it was felt very cliche. Like, I was literally looking at Brody, my brother, who was watching the movie with me. We were just staring at each other, giving each other these looks like, yeah, this is very cliche. You gotta save the world and team up and whatever, yeah. Very cliche, and that was pretty disappointing. I personally think that there is a bit of lacking going on with the R rating, because this film has a full-on 18+ R rating, and I don't think it really deserved it. I just felt like, yes, there was of course gore, and there was blood, and there was violence, and there was those swear words, but I felt like there was a lot of brutal scenes, of course, but I felt like it wasn't enough to get an R rating. I didn't feel satisfied enough. And with the gore in this film, was it gory? Was it bloody? Yes, of course it was, but I felt like it wasn't enough to get an R rating. This is a full-on 18+ R rating, and I don't think it really deserved it. An MA 15+ R rating, I think would have been fine. That's just to me. I feel like it just needed an MA. It didn't feel like it needed an R rating. It was just. I don't feel full on satisfied with the R rating. I was expecting a lot out of this, like actors who in the film even felt sick in a few parts of the film apparently, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be so gory, and it was bloody and gory at times, of course, but it wasn't like, damn, like holy fuck, like oh my god, what am I looking at? It's just it's fine gore, it's fine blood, violence, and stuff, but I don't think it really deserved an R rating. I think an MA would have been fine, not an R rating. So yeah, I wasn't full on satisfied with the use of the R rating. And I guess little nitpicks. I guess it was a little slow at times. The film was a bit slow. There was a lot of training going on in like the middle of the film. But you got freaking Kano in there who was just making it 10 times better. But either way, everyone else, every other character, like I said, was just very average. So a lot of the training stuff was just meh. It felt very slow. And there was even a time where all the violence and gore and R rating would kind of just disappeared for a while. And it was kind of just about training and whatever. It really disappeared for a while, and it just kind of went away, which was pretty disappointing. And yeah, very slow. And yeah, I probably for now, I probably will think of more, but for now, that is probably all the issues I can say with the film. There is more, actually, now that I think about it. But I can't get into it because this is a spoiler-free review. I would have to get into spoilers, so that's all I'm going to say. Despite a few of my issues, guys, Mortal Kombat is a fine film with some fine characters, but overall still has an amazing score, an amazing opening with some pretty damn cool action scenes, and some okay gore and bloody and violence and all that. But overall, I still think this will hopefully impress the hardcore Mortal Kombat fans that grew up with the video games, and it'll hopefully make them very, very happy. And would I overall recommend you go see Mortal Kombat? Well, if you are a hardcore Mortal Kombat fan, yes, you have to go see this movie. If you grew up with the video games and all that, you gotta go see this movie. You'll probably love it. I don't know. I think you'll probably love this film. If you're just someone who's not a big fan of it, but you just want to see some dumb, fun, blood, violence, and gore and action scenes and all that in this film, then you'll probably have an average time like I did with this film. You'll be, it was a fine time, so maybe not, but I don't know, you might just have an okay time watching this film, and maybe you will still enjoy it. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe you'll still find the film really enjoyable. But overall, I think you might just have a fine time watching this film if you're not a big fan of the Mortal Kombat video games and all that. But yeah, overall, if you want to see the film, you can, but I think you might have a fine time with this film. And overall, it's not a complete garbage film. It was just a fine experience. Alrighty guys, this is going to be the end of my review of Mortal Kombat. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to comment down below of what you guys thought of Mortal Kombat, and if you were satisfied with the R rating that was put into this film. Please let me know in the comments, I would love to know, and yeah, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, see you all in the next video, bye. And I'm gonna listen to this new updated theme of Mortal Kombat because it's so epic. Let's listen to this, yeah, all day, every day, yeah, let's do it.
Fatality.